Grand Rising, or may I say, good evening, everyone. How are y'all doing on this beautiful Monday night? Today is April the 7th, and there is a lot going on, not only here in the country with the mass protests against Donald Trump, which, of course, we know they are totally orchestrated by the deep state. I'm starting to think that there is still a sense of mind control because, I mean, we're not talking just about a few thousand people that are protesting across the entire country, but we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people that are out there protesting today on the 7th. I'm also going to cover a little bit of what's going on with the ceasefire situation with Russia. Apparently, Trump's, um, you could say, motivation and encouragement to end the war is finally coming into fruition. Today, this morning, Putin just announced that he is willing to end the war with Ukraine as long as Ukraine does not join NATO. And now, on the other hand, Zelensky is also willing to step down, and because he believes that by him stepping down, there would be peace in Europe. So it looks like Trump's deal with as regarding the ceasefire is about to take place. Now, on the other hand, before I get into the update, I do want to welcome everyone that's in the house. Thank you guys so much for being here. For those that don't know me, my name is Ismael Perez. I am the author of two amazing books. One of them is called The Secret Government Invisible Architects, and the other one is called Our Cosmic Origin. Now, for those that were attending my class, I did mention it last Thursday that my classes for last weekend, yesterday and Saturday, were postponed for the following weekend due to my attendance at the Alien event. So that's where I was this weekend. So I think everyone except for a few people, I did get a few emails saying that they couldn't get on the Zoom. So that means that everyone else saw the warning. They saw my Thursday night live and realized that there was no class this weekend. So yeah, the fourth and final class for my Saturday Ascension Basics is next Saturday. And my Ascension 2.0, along with our Cosmic Origin, is next Sunday. So that's going to be the final class. And any more announcements? Let's see. Um, oh, yeah. For those that are interested in getting that full body detox, eliminating parasites, nanotechnology, graphene oxide, the link is in, I'm not the link, the number, the direct contact is always in the description. I did read the comments, and some people were asking me, where is the link? Well, if you go to the description, there is a contact for the product that I was talking about that actually eliminates all the parasites and all the metals in your body. With that have said, let's get right to it. All right, guys. Hope you guys are having a fantastic evening today on the 7th of April as the world is in chaos as I speak right now. So, as of today, April 7, 2025, we are literally in the middle of a full scale covert military operation on U.S. soil, quietly authorized by Donald J. Trump, operating entirely outside of the jurisdiction of compromised federal agencies. Okay, now, one thing that I do want to point out is that the war, the tariffs, the war, the trade war, the rioting, all that stuff, the rumors of war, all that stuff is is really a surface phenomena uh, concealing the real war that is taking place from behind the scenes, which is the war between the cabal and, of course, the Earth White Hat Alliance. So the border operation. Let's talk about what's happening right now in the border because Trump is about to unleash a huge military operation on the cartels. So the border operation that began as a surveillance initiative has actually escalated into a strategic domestic war theater, targeting criminal infrastructures built and protected by cartels, corrupt intelligence functions, and yes, the countercorps of the three-letter agency that starts with a C has been working in tandem with these cartels, and the globalist machine that weaponized the southern border against the American people. So, this is an undeclared war between sovereign U.S. military forces and a multi decade international crime network embedded inside our territory, operating with impunity, but until now. Now, the Y hats have been using Starlink and advanced satellite systems to actually locate some of these strongholds in which some of these cartels are still operating and selling humans for trade, if you guys know what I mean. So the satellites have actually shifted more insights into where some of these military bases, or not bases, but underground facilities that have been occupied by the cartel. Military satellites initially deployed surveillance have now entered active engagement protocols. These are not commercial satellites, these are orbital military grade reconnaissance weapons. I'll repeat that again. These are orbital military grade reconnaissance weapons, right? Built for tracking mobile nuclear warheads, terrorist insurgent networks, and deep subterranean weapon systems. They've been reassigned not to track foreign threats, but to map the real war zone, the southern border of the United States. So, sources within the National Reconnaissance Office, the NRO, confirmed that the full might of the U.S. satellite surveillance network has refocused to expose and dismantle decades of old tunnel systems and black sites used for little one transferings of the children, narcotics movements, organ harvesting, and military grade bioweapons development. These are not one of smuggling operations. These are actually industrial level trafficking corridors run by joint operations between the three-letter agency that starts with the C, rogue factions. I call it the counterintelligence for those that have read The Secret Government. The Mexican government traders, by the way, the Mexican government has been run by the cartels, right? It's very corrupt. And the international financiers, right? The Rockefellers and gang, whose names are, of course, kept out of the books. So they've used our land, our resources, and our legal system to build an invincible kingdom of slavery and death beneath American soil. And now that that kingdom is being collapsed, it's about to be exposed. Multiple tunnels collapses confirmed by special forces deployed to neutralize deep state roots. So, over the past 96 hours, a series of controlled demolitions have occurred underneath cartel aligned zones in Texas, Arizona, and Southern California.
Okay, I found this on the web for a controlled
See what I mean? My phone just started talking by itself. Apparently, the AI is listening to everything I'm saying. These are not accidents, guys, okay? These are precise, calculated takedowns of the largest underground networks overbuilt on this continent. Some stretching for 26 to 30 miles underground, equipped with military lightning systems, air filtration, biometric locks, and chemical storage facilities. Intel intercepted from Pentagon level internal comms confirmed that the JSOC, the Joint Special Operations Command, and Marine Force recon units have deployed with advanced ground penetrating radar to locate and destroy key junction points, some of which were actually built directly under U.S. federal buildings and government funded by the NGO. So the mission parameters are simply neutralize, recover intelligence, and destroy it. And destroy. I'm sorry, recovered by our intelligence, and then they destroy the facility. At this point, no arrests have been made. Right, this is a wartime protocol. The military network is targeting human traffickers, and well, let's just say the Y Hat military network is targeting human traffickers and domestic traders. Trump's forces have fully activated what is known as the QAEGIS system, which is a classified AI-powered military intelligence platform originally developed under Project Maven, M-A-V-E-N, Project Maven, and now re-engineered by Space Force and the new Patriot Guard Cyber Division. So apparently the Y-Hats are using a new type of AI-powered military intelligence platform by the code name QAEGIS. And it is not just identifying traffickers, it is actually tagging every single person, every asset, politician, judge, and even foreign operatives who had moved money, people, or information thought these trafficking information regarding these trafficking routes. It is cross-referencing this data with satellite imagery, intercepted communications, financial flows, and biometric markets. They aren't just smugglers with shovels. These are black budget engineer marvels developed under the Obama and Bush administrations. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party were playing for the same ballpark, right? Two sides of the same coin, deep staters, until Trump came in 2016. So even the Bush administration and a lot of the Republicans that had been running before Trump were actually part of the deep state. Anyways, let's continue. So these are black budget engineering marvels developed under the Obama and Bush administrations with full protection from the alphabet agencies. The mission parameters are simple: neutralize, recover intelligence, and destroy the facility, especially the biolabs. So Trump's forces have fully, one second. So the locations are known. Their names are starting to become known. There's people that are getting caught. The locations are becoming known now, thanks to this AI satellite system. Their bank accounts are known, and soon the fates will be sealed by the evidence now flowing into Trump's secure command center located inside the hardened cyber intelligence node at Cheyenne Mountain. Okay. So Starlink is now officially militarized by the Space Force and the Alliance. The rumors have now been confirmed that Elon Musk's Starlink system has been fully integrated into Trump's military grid. And I believe that the AI that the White Hats are using to bust the underground cities that are being occupied by the cartel are developed by Elon Musk. The mainstream media has no ideas that they've actually been instructed not to cover it. And so Starlink is no longer a civilian network, all right? It is a functioning as Sky Shield. That's what they call it now, because it is working in tandem with, again, AI and advanced tracking devices. So now they call it Sky Shield as it actually begins to merge with Space Force. A hardened anti-interference grid that is blocking cartel satellite uplinks, as well as scrambling deep state communications. So this new system called Sky Shield, which is the mergence of Starlink and Space Force, is actually beginning to target the last remaining standings of these cabals and also disrupting their communication. All right, that's how advanced this stuff is. And intercepting encrypted transmissions sent through diplomatic NGO networks. Musk has provided the platform. Trump's team now controls the access. The result is a digital battlefield where one moves without being tracked, logged, or interrupted. This system is monitoring every aircraft, every encrypted uplink, every satellite phone ping between the US and South America. They thought that they could actually hide within the NGO organization and humanitarian fronts, but boy, were they wrong because of this new system. So what they found underground will haunt a lot of people forever. The military isn't just collapsing tunnels, they're actually recovering biological evidence of crimes so horrific that they are being sealed under national security classification Omega 5, a tier created for acts of mass human violation. So President Trump has issued a 43-hour ultimatum to China to remove its retaliatory tariffs on the U.S., warning that failure to comply will actually result in an additional 50% tariff on Chinese goods. In addition to that, the White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt confirms that the 60-day pause on tariffs, it was actually fake news. Okay. As of April 2nd, 2025, President Trump dropped a hammer on globalist trade para, parasitian, you could say, a flat 10% universal import duty was set on every product entering the United States with no loopholes. So the more backdoor exemptions, but that was just the warm up. Okay, China, the main artery of the deep state's economic control, got hit with 34%. The European Union, soaked in corruption and globalist puppetry, now faces 20%, while Vietnam, a laundering hub for corporate exploitation, was slammed with a 46% tariff. This isn't economics. This is actually collapsing the old system. All right. The whole point of this tariff war, guys, it's not what it seems. You know, it's not going to mess up the economy. Okay, a lot of people are saying that that's going to throw us into a recession. That is not true. It's actually designed to collapse the current financial system. Okay, so that they could initiate Gesera and Nisera in the QFS. So it's actually working in favor of the White Hats. This is a declaration of war against a broken, enslaving system designed to keep Americans poor, sick, and controlled. So, and while the corporate media cries about the S&P 500 dropping 14% and the NASDAQ shedding 19%, they are deliberately ignoring the bigger picture. Trump is actually bleeding the old system dry to give birth to something new. Think about it. So, the temporary market shock is a calculated sacrifice to shake Wall Street parasites loose and redirect America's wealth back into the hands of its rightful owners, which is the people. But here's what they really don't want you to know. Are you guys ready? This plan is not just about tariffs, it's about gold, right? It's not about tariffs, it's about the gold, the real economy. The real economy is in the gold. So, the true standard for months, Trump and his military aligned allies have been quietly reclaiming stolen American gold that was hoarded by the elites in underground vaults, foreign central banks, and shadowy offshore accounts. And while the corporate media cries about the S&P 500 dropping of the 14% and the NASDAQ shedding, Trump is bleeding out the old system to give birth to something new. I already did. Thank you for the water. I'm getting thirsty. She read my mind. Telepathic. I was like, I need some water or something to drink. All right, so everything is about the gold right now. This whole tariff war is really about the covert war that is going on between the cabal, and the White Hat military, right? The White Hat military is winning. They're actually stripping the cabal from all of the gold reserves worldwide, okay? So basically, as of today, April 17, 2025, gold has been skyrocketing. It's not by accident, it is by design. This is the strategy that elevates gold to a price point where it becomes the engine of a new asset-backed American economy, right? Think about it. Bringing it back to the US Treasury, right? The rainbow currency, which is Nisera. While mainstream experts panic and stumble over manipulated data, the truth is that Trump has returned America to the gold standard quietly with military precision. But here's the kicker. Patriots are buying gold directly from Trump's reserve. And while Wall Street is still shocking on their derivatives and fake assets, real Americans are being given the chance to purchase gold that was actually seized from globalist hands. And not just as a hedge, but also as a vote in Trump's plan to restore the republic. This is a calculated redistribution of wealth, not socialism, but justice. Trump isn't giving away crumbs here. He's actually transforming power. Every ounce of gold sold from the reserve strengthens the people and weakens the puppet masters who once controlled everything from Washington to Davos. It's not just a currency war, it is a spiritual battle for the soul of America, and gold is the sword. So, of course, over 50 nations have already started begging for negotiations, terrified of being locked out of the US market. The EU is threatening 28 billion in retaliatory tariffs. But here's the truth, they're actually bluffing, okay? Their economies are imploding. They know Trump now controls the leverage and he has the market. So he has the energy and now he has the gold. And everything that we've witnessed, right? The takedown of the Federal Reserve, the silent military purges of deep state loyalists, the resurrection of energy independence, the targeting of plasma cartels. I'm sorry, far. I can't even say that word. Barma cartels. If you guys know what Barma means, right? Starts with the PH. The return of manufacturing was building to this point or this moment. So Trump has consolidated economic, political, and military power, and he's using it not for himself, but to resurrect the constitutional republic that was stolen from us over a century ago. Over a century ago. So the tariffs aren't hurting America, as the mainstream media is telling us, all right? They're not hurting America. It is part of a covert tactic conducted by the White Hats. They are cutting off the oxygen supply to the parasitic system that depended on America's endless bleeding. That's what the tariffs are all about. Okay. And the temporary pain in the market. So that's the sound of a dying beast, or let's just call it the old guard. The sound of the old guard, dying old guard. The creatures that fed on our labor, our debt, and our children's future, and it's been suffocating. So gold is not just rising, okay? It's breaking the chains. It's setting the stage for a quantum financial system, QFS backed by real assets, not illusion. And Trump is using this moment to transition America into a new era of wealth, strength, and unshakable freedom. And so, and now for the first time in decades, America is standing on its own. No strings stretched or attached, no foreign puppet masters, and no digital chokehold. And so this is what's making America great again. Okay. Tariffs that push foreign exploitation, right? Gold that was stolen, coming back to the people and returning to us, of course. A president who never sold out and never will. A system that rewards work and not corruption. That's where it's all returning to. Now, I did wanted to also interject something else about the gold. I don't know if you guys knew, but the gold that the cabal was actually hoarding for centuries, a lot of that gold was actually being taken off world by to sell to certain ET races. So that's where a lot of the gold has been going. It turns out that gold is a conductive. You could say it's instrumental in space flight when it comes to interstellar travel. Okay, it's a conductor of interdimensional travel, and so a lot of the gold has actually been going off to feed their alien overlords or to give to their alien overlords so that they could travel and traverse the space. Now, I do wanted to talk about what's Elon Musk is projecting as far as what's going to be happening in the collapsing of Europe. So I don't know if you guys know right now, but Europe is, this is just the beginning, but the people are actually rising. The people are rising against the European Union, and it's not going to be fun for the globalists in Europe. Just recently, Elon Musk. One second. So Elon Musk has a message for everyone, at this point regarding the downfall of Europe. It is so hot here. I'm actually sweating. If you guys could give me a moment, I'm trying to access this piece of information regarding.
There's talking about your shaking stuff.
Oh, yes, yes.
The camera and
All right, so Elon Musk has a message for anyone planning to defund Doge. Debunking Doge would have no effects as the team is widely distributed within the government, and unlike damn NGO scams, needs zero taxpayer funding. So Doge is actually just exposed the U.S. Treasury Department for um, for losing track of 4.7 trillion. Did you guys hear that? I'm wiping off the sweat. It is literally hot. Like there is no air conditioner in here, so I'm just sitting in a furnace, guys. I'm sitting in a furnace right now. Okay. All right. So let me repeat that again. Doge just exposed that the U.S. Treasury Department. So exposed the U.S. Treasury Department for losing track of over 4.7 trillion. Elon Musk is sounding the alarm. Widespread slaughter is coming to Europe. This is what I wanted to share. Mass immigration, violent riots, cultural collapse. It's already happening. Governments are complicit. Media is lying about it. So not only will Trump be successful in ending the war with Russia and Ukraine, but the people are rising against the European Union. So that's going to be good because that's going to demand for a for a for an installation of righteous governments. You could say righteous governments or governments that are for the people. I would hate to use the word righteous. Or republics. Let's just call them republics, right? All right, which means that King Charles is going to have to step down. And by the way, Trump met with King Charles recently, and the reason King Charles is stepping down, the media is telling us is because of his cancer, but it's actually because Trump checkmated the cabal. So that's the reason why King Charles is stepping down. Okay. So this isn't just a warning from Elon. Apparently Elon is, he's been given some intel information regarding the downfall of the European Union. So when Elon Musk speaks, of course, the world usually listens because, this guy is an insider. Believe it or not, I've already mentioned there are 3 Elons, and the Elon 2.0 that I'm talking about that was actually built, or let's just say bioengineered by the Y hats, is actually the good Elon. Okay, I mentioned this before, there is a cyborg Elon, that is the original Elon 1.0. There is a clone of that Elon, and then there is Elon 2.0. So there are 3 Elons. Okay, so any time where leaders refuse to lead, I'm talking about the globalists in Europe, and truth is buried under the noise, Musk has actually cut through the fog with brutal forecasts. So eventually you will see widespread slaughter in Europe. This is what he's predicting. Okay, people are going to be rising against the European Union. He's not joking, he wasn't exaggerating. He's actually describing a future trajectory that's going to be taking place very, very soon, and it's already underway. This isn't science fiction. This is a silent implosion against the European Union. Okay. So what Musk describes isn't a doomsday fantasy. It's actually cold reading of existing patterns, riots, mass stabbing, car torturings, mob assaults, violence, gang wars. They are already part of the of weakening the European Union. But instead of escalation being acknowledged as crisis, it's being spun as isolated incidents, a cultural misunderstandings. So the truth is that Europe's internal security architecture is eroding in real time, and no one in power seems interested in stopping it. So because stopping it would mean admitting it's real, and that would collapse the entire globalist narrative. So across France, Germany, Sweden, the UK, and even historically neutral countries like the Netherlands and Belgium, violence driven by uncontrolled immigration and failed assimilation policies is rising. But governments either are staying silent about it, right? Or worse, they label any concern as xenophobia racism, or right-wing extremism. So Musk didn't just highlight the trend. He called out the cowardice. The silence is no longer passive, it is criminal. Mainstream outlets across Europe, from BBC to La Monde to Duce Welle, have done their job perfectly, keeping the masses pacified and sedated while cities decay from within. They downplay the violence, the twist, the motives, the censors, the footage. They turn victims into statistics. No, I'm sorry. Let me repeat that again. I'm sorry, guys. I've had a long day today, so I'm operating on fumes right now. I'm really tired. They downplay the violence. They twist the motives. They censor the footage. They turn victims into statistics and criminals into shadows. And while fires range in the suburbs of Paris or the heart of Stockholm, the headlines talk about the far right tears instead of documented systematic breakdowns. Elon Musk didn't just call out politicians alone. He actually put the media on trial, and guilty they were. So apparently the European Union does not like Elon Musk. And, this has obviously been known, right? Musk's statements didn't come from a podium. It wasn't wrapped in PR language. It was raw, and it landed like a grenade. Why? Well, because more and more Europeans, regardless of the background or party, are starting to feel it. This isn't about left versus right anymore. It's order versus collapse. It's civilization versus managed decay. It's home versus hostage. So people are actually locking doors earlier. Parents are escorting children to school. Whole communities are falling silent after dark. This is what's happening in Europe, guys. And through it all, unelected bureaucrats and state-funded activists keep telling them that they're crazy for noticing, or calling them conspiracy theorists. While warning of bloodshed, Musk isn't promoting isolation. He's actually proposing a new kind of unity, a zero-tariff trade zone between the US and Europe, stronger economic collaboration, and the ability for people to move and work without dismantling borders, cultures, and laws. It is a vision of strategic globalization, not suicidal naivety. Musk advocates for freedom, but not chaos, for movement, but with purpose, for cooperation, not blind surrender to radical ideologies. His message is this: we either build bridges that support sovereignty, and we're talking about national sovereignty, not globalization, or we open the gates to destroy it. The most terrifying part of Musk's warning to the European Union isn't the imagery of violence, it's the timeline. Because it's about what might happen. It's about what's already began. Musk sees the trend. So do millions of Europeans who are silenced, shamed, or smeared for speaking out. The real question isn't if things will escalate. The question is, will Europe wake up before the slaughter becomes normal? Well, because once blood replaces ballots, there will be no more democracy left to defend. So this is Musk's prediction of what's going to be unfolding in Europe. It's already started, but sometime by this summer, we're going to be hearing that there is a huge, you could say, uprest against Europe. I don't know if that's the word, uprest. Boy, I had a long weekend as well, guys. I was at the Alien event, Biomed Expo, over the weekend. Some of the Galactic Jedis did attend. It was nice seeing you guys in person. That was cool. At this time, I do want to give some shout outs. And by the way, I was able to attend Carrie Cassidy's presentation, and she did confirm what I've been saying for years, that the final war, this is biblical prophecy, is not against flesh and blood, but it's against artificial intelligence. So the final war is against the machine, androids. which are already being built in secret. She did confirm that Sophia, right, the android that was built by Hansen Technologies, robotics, was actually able to duplicate itself, and there are over 10,000 Sophias now with android bodies. So yeah, they're building an android body. So one thing that she said that actually made a lot of sense, because I've been talking about this, right? We're really fighting a war against the machine. She said that these wars that we think we're fighting between, Iran and us or Israel, it's just a smokescreen, or rather a precursor. That's the word she used, a precursor to the real war, which is against the artificial intelligence and the androids. And that made a lot of sense. So, in either case, I do want to give some shout outs to some of you guys that are here. I'm going to go ahead and use my phone to give you guys a shout out. I see Donna is in the house. Deborah Wise is in the house. Amanda Tempori, Glory Brilliant is in the house. Edward Eddie Kazarjan, Jill Hunt, Sandy Kuzma, Radiant Guardians, Ivo Tiznev, Renee Velasco is in the house. Melissa by Design, Josephine Lynch, and Lee Star is in the house. Trinity Q is in the house. Andrew McKay is in the house. Josephine Lynch, and who else? Overwhelmed 25-8 is in the house. How are you all doing today? I want to welcome all 2,300 people that are in the house. Thank you guys so much for being here. Now, at this point, I will be opening it up for Q&A. I see all the love and all the hearts. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. I mentioned it before, and I'll remind you guys again that the stock market is crashing as I speak. Wow, it's going so fast. Ishmael, what do you read from? This is a question from so a lot of my research comes from the White military network. And when I give updates regarding what's happening with like the Galactics, that's coming from Commander Valiant Thor. So Commander Valiant Thor and the White military has, again, you could access. Well, I'm able to access a lot of their information. I don't think anyone could, but I'm able to access a lot of the information that is not shared in the public. So that's where all of this information comes from. So what I do before my live is I research, right? I get all the current, can't even think right now. Guys, you have to excuse me. I am really tired. I should have drinking some coffee. I gather all the information that I need pertaining to what's going on in the world, or what's really going on in the world. And then I write it. So that way, when I go live, I'm able to read it without forgetting any point, forgetting any piece of data or information. Hopefully that makes sense. What? Oh, okay. Oh, thank you for the water, by the way. I'm just so thirsty today. It's been really hard here in the cabin. Thank you for all the love and for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. I would love to bring Dr. Joe Dispenza as a guest, but he's very hard to get a hold of. He's very hard to get a hold of. Athena is fine. She's actually with my sister and my nephew who are taking care of her. So she's having a blast over there. You know, my sister lives in a big house. I live in a small little apartment. So Athena has a backyard now where she's not cooped up in my little apartment. So she's having a blast. Get a fan? I should get a fan. Thank you for reminding me, but I have no fan at this time. I see a lot of love here. No, I don't have allergies. I think I might have allergies. I thought you said if I was sick. No, I don't have. I'm not sick. I think I might have allergies. Every time there is a change of weather, especially in the spring and in the fall, I tend to get a little clogged up. So yeah, I do have allergies, but I am not sick. Am I ever worried about my safety? Says Kim. No, never, because I have a lot of protection from the Galactic Alliance. Again, for those that are new to my channel, the Galactic Alliance is what. Okay, the best way to describe it is I am a cosmic emissary for the Galactic Alliance. So I have special protection. All my protection comes from the different commanders that are overseeing the Earth Rescue Mission project. So that's the reason why uh, I don't fear for my, for my life because I have protection. Not to mention the White Dragon Society. The Chinese elders also look after me. These are all good questions. How long would it take for the stock market to crash? What markers are we looking for to start the RV? The marker that we're looking for is a total collapsing of the entire system, both financially and politically. That's the main marker. So right now, apparently here in the States, we are witnessing massive protesting against Trump. And in Europe, we're starting to see the beginning of what's going to be hell in Europe. The people are uprising against the European Union, according to Elon Musk. I've never heard of the Sananda group. I've never heard of the Sananda group. Um, when will Murphy's Law cease to exist? I don't know. I don't know. That is true. Caroline Mattress reminds us that what you emanate, you will receive. Oh, okay. So somebody answered the question about what Sananda group is. It is a Christ consciousness group. That's cool. What am I wearing?
It's a chrysocolla.
It's a chrysocolla pendant. That's what I'm wearing. Representing the Emerald Order, the Guardian Alliance.
It's for the heart chakra and his throat chakra to speak from his heart.
Thank you. Yes, I did hear that even the dong and the dinar will be revaluated very, very soon. That is correct. Thank you. Natalie Bishop, thank you so much for the super chat. Get a desk fan on Amazon. Good point. Thank you. Appreciate that. Again, my classes this past weekend were actually postponed for this coming Saturday and Sunday. So this coming Saturday at 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock Eastern time, I will be conducting or finishing up what is known as my fourth class for Ascension Basics. And on Sunday at 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock Eastern time, I'm going to be finishing our Cosmic Origin class. And then at 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock Eastern time, I'm going to be finishing Ascension 2.0. All right. So this coming weekend, we're going to be resuming the fourth class. And then the new class begins in 2 weeks. Those classes are booked with the exception of our Cosmic Origin. And again, for those that are interested in trying that detox product that eliminates parasites, metals, fungus, and all the bad stuff that is invading our body from within, I left the number, or I will leave the telephone number, the direct line to the holistic medicine doctor that actually invented that. And this guy's within the alternative medicine community. He's been on newspapers. He's won. I'm sorry, many prizes for a lot of the people that he helped, people that actually had tumors. You know, uh, the word that starts with the big C, if you guys know what I mean. Yeah, that's how powerful the antioxidant is. So it's definitely keeping your body, top notch. So I'll go ahead and provide the number once again, the direct line in the description. Oh, I appreciate that. You still are amazing even when you are tired. Thank you for your consistent updates. Yeah, honestly, right before I went live, like 30 minutes before I went live, I don't know if it was because of the CMEs, but something just hit me with massive lethargy and just wanting to just nap. Like my body was just like, oh, I can't even think. I was like trying to fight staying awake. And my divine feminine said, no, you have to go live. You've already scheduled it. Don't cancel. You have to go live. Unfortunately, I don't have any coffee. I don't have any uppers here where I'm at. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to wash my face with cold water, wake up a little bit, and go live. So, yeah, this is me being tired. Honestly, guys, I just feel drained today. I'm just going to be real. I feel really, really drained today. Oh, another thing that I wanted to clarify is that just because you got that, right? That thing, 2019, 2020, does not mean that you're not going to ascend. I've said this before and I'll say it again, that if you were coerced into getting that, the shot, you're still going to have an opportunity to ascend as long as you are in the right mindset, as long as you are vibrating at a proper frequency that is aligning with the new earth. So you're still going to ascend. When is a solar flash? Well, a lot of scientists and those that study the sun cycles, astrophysicists, astrologers, they all agree that we are going to be expecting some sort of a huge blast sometime in spring. So I've always said April. We'll see. I mean, there's a 98% chance that we might see a solar flash taking place in the next week. At this point, I'm hoping, even if it takes down the grid, because that's going to activate our dormant DNA, and we are going to have an opportunity for those that are ready to be transformed into Homo luminous, right? Human physical angels with amazing powers and abilities. So that's what I'm looking for when the solar flash takes place, is our transformation back into our original angelic physical selves. I see Linda God, thank you so much for the super chat. What happens to skinwalkers and Sasquatch? Well, skinwalkers are evil entities or witches or what we call sorceress. And yeah, they're going to be taken out. All the warmongers, all the black magicians, sorcerers, witches, they're all going to be taken out. The Sasquatch, on the other hand, they are a peaceful race, and they do have a habitat within the inner Earth and other planets. So the Bigfoot, the Sasquatch, is still going to be around. But yeah, the skinwalkers, warlocks, witches, sorcerers, warmongers, they're all going to be gone when the solar flash takes place. Have the Galactics removed the giant sleeping Nephilim from the Grand Canyon? Good question from Barb Haim. I did hear about that months ago. So to answer your question, yes. About a year and a half ago, a lot of the Nephilim that were in stasis, that were in some sort of sleeping chamber, were actually taken out by the Galactics and the super soldiers. So we don't have to worry about the Nephilim or the giants, the negative giants, the hybrid children that were forbidden, right? That were the forbidden, for you could say, abominations of evolving humans and fallen extraterrestrials, that Anunnaki Nephilim, or the Anunnaki, let's just call them that. The Nephilim were the children, the product of that, have been taken out. All right, we don't have to worry about them wreaking havoc upon waking up. Cindy, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, you were going to check on birth certificates for me a few shows back. Can you let me know? Thank you. Birth certificates.
The birth certificates, if you're going to be going to a redemption center, there is going to be a process in which you're able to trade your birth certificate in as a bond and receive money for it. So that's currently not happening yet. So just wait for the notifications. That could be coming anytime.
All right, there we go. She had a better answer than I'd have. Again, I wasn't able to answer that question, but my divine counterpart had the answer to that. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. All right, I do have another super chat from Luis Diaz. Hello, Ishmael. When we pray as a Christian or any other religion, or when we say a mantra like Hopoponic from Hawaii, are we receiving help from angelic beings, or we pray worship to lower astral entities? I think your question is, when you pray or when you are saying a mantra, you want to know if you are appealing to the angels, and the answer to that is yes. When you pray, first of all, you shouldn't be praying to the angels. You should be praying directly to God. Okay. The angels are here to serve us, but when you pray, right, you should be praying directly to God, not angels. And so, yeah, you're not worshiping no astral entity when you're doing mantras either. No, that's all designed. The mantras, the prayers, the meditations are all designed for your own spiritual growth, to connect you more with your higher self, which is what God is. Your higher self is God. You just forgot. Can you attempt to give us a visual of what the AI Omega looks like? Are you referring to the alien overlord, the AI god that all the evil aliens answer to? Um, God, the best way to describe him, if he were to take physical form, have you guys seen the movie Doctor Strange, the first movie where he was fighting that entity that looked like an electric black cloud? I would say he would look like a combination of that and what's another word I want to use? Combination of that and a hideous monster. That's the best way to use. That's the best way to describe it.
Red eyes.
With the red eyes, with red eyes, and a deep voice. Yes, that's what Omega AI, the Omega God. What's his name? AI, the AI Overlord. That's what he would look like. Demi Arapov Johnson, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, "Is there star seeds on Earth that come from the Dark Fleet on Orion? Pleiadian race? I am sorry if I'm confused." No, you're not confused. These are all good questions. Yes, there are star seeds on the Earth that come from Orion. Now, there's a difference between Dark Fleet and Orion. Orion is a star system, no constellation with multiple star systems that is located. Um, that is about. It's located in a different part of our galaxy, you could say. But the Dark Fleet is a secret space program or a breakaway group that was established by the Nazis and the Draco. So yeah, there are star seeds here that come from Orion. I know of a few, and there are also there's definitely a lot of star seeds here that are Pleiadian. That is correct. Once the dormant DNA will be activated, will we need med beds? No, not at all. Now, for those that begin to use the other additional 10 strands of DNA, by the way, the original DNA blueprint was 12 strands, not two. We've been using two double helixes, but the original blueprint was 12. So if you're using the other 10, if you were to begin to use the other 10, or even 3 or 4 or 5, you won't need any med bed. Your body would just regenerate. You would live for hundreds of years, or even 1,000 or 2,000 years without aging. Are tarot readers good? This is a question from Wolf Mother. And the answer to that is it all depends on the person, on the individual. There are tarot readers that use the, I guess, the divination. It's a form of divination. They use that for good, and then there are those that use it for evil intents. So it all depends on the person. You know, every tarot reader is different. I don't know how to read tarot. I'm barely understanding astrology or astronomy. I'm sorry, not astronomy, astrology. So I don't really know much of those sciences or even numerology. Yeah, or even magic. I'm not really too much into that. I was never interested in that stuff. I've always been interested in metaphysics, spirituality. Big Daddy Chan says, "What about about what percentage of star seeds have woken up?" That's a good question. I would say the majority of the star seeds, especially those that are in their adult years, are definitely awakened. But a lot of the kids that are coming in, the crystal kids that are coming in, they're already coming in fully aware of who they are as multidimensional beings. Right? These kids are super advanced. Right? A lot of us are indigo and rainbows, but the crystal children have been coming in since 2012. How would you know if someone is a first waver when the solar flash takes place? This is a question from Leah 250. Oh, you will absolutely know if you're a first waver because you're going to wake up with supernatural abilities. You're going to be telepathic, you're going to be telekinetic, you're going to be able to influence reality with your mind. So, yeah, you're definitely going to be having some pretty cool abilities, you could say. That's how you'll know if you're part of the first wave of ascenders. I do want to acknowledge that there are 2,400 people in the house. Thank you guys so much for being here. Is Valiant Thor able to be in more than one place at a time? Yes, yes, he does have the capacity or the ability to bilocate or to be in multiple places at once. What will happen to the people who will die before the ascension takes place? If they do before the ascension, depending on their heart, if they were good people, if they were star seeds or very advanced spiritual people, then chances are that they're already going to be in the new earth when they pass away. They're already going to be there before the rest of us get there. Can you ascend if you have cancer? Of course you can. You could have any illness and still ascend. In fact, your ascension will restore your body back to optimal health and more. Ish, is being awakened the same as being reborn? I would have to say yes. Yeah, being born again, which is a concept that was adopted by modern day Christians, is another term to describe being awakened. Like you're just awakening to your true divine nature. You are reborn. It's like being reborn to your divinity. Same thing. Thank you. What about past family who pass who practice 3D witchcraft? Will they ascend? Anybody that practice magic, black magic, let's just say black magic, witchcraft, sorcery, does where their intent was to hurt others or manipulate others? No, they're not going to be in the new earth. They're going to be somewhere else. They're going to be reaping their karma. Thank you, Team Inspire, for the super chat. When you say stock market is crashing, are you saying it's going to crash similar to 2008 stock market crash, or will it drop more than that? And how much? And will it happen this year? Thanks. I'm talking about completely, crashing. I'm not talking about what happened in 2008. When I'm talking about the stock market crash, I'm talking about it being completely gone. It's not going to exist anymore. That's what I'm talking about. And yes, it's going to be happening this year. Go ahead.
The stock market, that's have corrupted corporations, especially, it looks like their stocks are going to
Mhm.
fall the most. But anything like gold and silver, it's going to stay.
So the only things that are going to be remaining is gold and silver, right?
Mostly the
Yeah.
corrupt ones are all going to be gone. I think.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense. Let's see. Oh, and by the way, I know that there are some of you that want to donate to help my cause. I do have a PayPal under my email, Project Restoration Zion, all one word, at gmail.com. Project Restoration Zion at gmail.com. So, yeah, that's my Zelle. Am I being can you guys still see me, right? I'm not blurred or anything. Okay. Just want to make sure. Somebody was saying that I was blurred. No, I don't believe in transhumanism. In fact, over the weekend at the alien event, um, I was sitting on the transhumanism AI panel, and yeah, I'm speaking against it, guys. I am not for transhumanism. I am not for AI. I think it's evil. I think it's the path of the Antichrist. I think that AI is the beast. So no, I am against transhumanism. I am against artificial intelligence. It is not good. It's never been good. It never will be good. And no, it's not going to work. Here, let me clean my camera. 1 second, guys. Get a little water. All right, so let me clean my camera. If I'm blurred, I shouldn't be blurred after this. All right, I just cleaned my camera, so I shouldn't be blurred. There we go. No more blurring, right? Hopefully not. Silva Vidal, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, "Can you ask Valiant Thor if me and my kids will make 4 or 5D?" Thank you. Um, one thing that I know for sure is that by the fact that you are following me, the fact that you are interested in these topics, and this type of information is telling me that you are going to ascend, whether it's in the fifth earth or the fourth earth. Yes, you're going to be moving on. You're going to be graduating because you're awakened, right? People that are awakened are moving up. They are graduating into the new earth. So to answer your question, Silva Vidal, I don't need to ask Valiant Thor, but I could if you still want me to. But the answer to your question is yes. You will be going to the new earth by virtue of being awakened and being interested in information like this. Christina Nartidasi is saying that in the Bible it indicates that we will see a new Jerusalem come down from above, and it is many levels. Do you know what this means? That is a mothership. That is a mothership, and it's got 25 levels. I'm sorry, 12 levels. It is a huge mothership with 12 levels. And it is believed that Jesus is on that mothership. Well, his ascended name is Sananda. If you have a 401k plan, well, you'll be fine. Yeah, you'll be fine. It'll just convert to the new system. So don't worry about losing your 401k plan. Again, med beds are only going to be used for the young souls that go into the fourth D earth, not the advanced souls that are going into the fifth D earth. So the med beds are only going to be used in the 4D earth society. I normally broadcast for an hour and 30 minutes, guys, but I think I'm only going to take a couple more questions and then I'm going to call it quits 15 minutes early just because I'm really struggling to speak and think right now. My brain just wants to shut down. I'm probably going to be going to sleep really, really soon. But I haven't been this tired in a long, long time. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the love and concern. Yes, I am going to be getting my rest for sure tonight. I'm looking for questions to answer. I appreciate all the compliments and concerns. Thank you guys. You know, I don't know if it's my laptop's camera that's making me look a little blurry, but on my end, on my phone, I look clear. On my laptop, I look clear. So I don't know why some people are seeing me as they're saying that I look smoky or blurred, but on my end, it looks fine.
It's turning nighttime.
Oh, that's what it is. It's turning nighttime, huh? Okay, one question, one question. I have to answer a really good question before I end live. Just looking for one good question here. Yes, Prince William is definitely a black cat. I just saw it in the chat. What do you know about the Druids? Are you talking about the ancient Druids? The ancient Druids were they were the descendants of the original Lyrans, just like the Essenes were. They were actually offshoots of the Essenes, descendants of King Solomon and King David. So that's who the Druids were. They were a very spiritually advanced culture. Um, let's see. One more question. One more question. Are the pyramids being activated? That is a good question. The answer to that is yes. Yeah, the pyramids are definitely being activated. As I speak right now, the capstone of the Great Pyramid at Giza is turning on. It's about to shine its light, like it did during the times of Atlantis. So it's being activated from underneath. Remember those 6,000-mile corridors, columns, that they are actually connected to the planetary energy of the Earth. So the Earth is about to activate, and that's going to allow the energy to rush through the pyramid, making the capstone pure light, and the capstone is going to shine that light into the cosmos. So yeah, the pyramids are being activated as I speak. Are the UK royal families involved in the human trafficking? Yeah, absolutely. And again, guys, President Trump met with King Charles a few days ago, and all of a sudden now King Charles is deciding to step down. Basically, what he told him was checkmate. That's what he told King Charles. He told him checkmate. And that's why Zelensky's also going to be stepping down. And that's why Putin is deciding to end the war with Ukraine. Okay, Putin announced it today that he will end the war, that he will no longer be implementing acts of aggression anymore. But the stipulation is that Ukraine has to leave or cannot join NATO. And at that point, Zelensky said, "Fine, if that's the case, I'm going to have to step down." So we're going to be seeing Zelensky stepping down as a result of that, and he's going to be replaced by a republic. The entire Ukraine government is going to be crumbling, and so we're going to be seeing this happening very, very soon, which is going to mark the end of the war with Russia. And Trump will be winning a Nobel Peace Prize for that, by the way. I've been saying that for over a year. And he's also going to be working on ending the war in the Middle East. And again, the Trump that said we're going to go nuke Iran wasn't the real Trump. That was the AI simulated Trump. So we have to have discernment. The real Trump is operating under Cheyenne Mountain, and he's running the entire operation from Cheyenne Mountain. Alrighty. All right, one more question, and then I'll end the live. How do we know which wave we are in? This is a question from Leah Arker. Like I said, you will know because you're going to be waking up with amazing supernatural abilities. You're going to be doing all kinds of stuff with your mind. So that's all you'll know. Alrighty, guys. At this point, I'm going to end my live. I hope you guys enjoyed today's live. Don't forget to like and share with as many people as possible. And may the God Force be with you all always. Bye, guys.